to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Check. Mic check waifu. Tell, is that you?
What's up, Polo? We here.
This is episode 209 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Lube Complex. Make sure you go to lubecomplex.com and use that offer code waifu to save on your entire cart. It's also brought to you by patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu. Go to patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu. Become a producer of this episode and many other episodes. Get early access to the video version of this podcast, as well as access to the after story, the conversational exclusive podcast exclusive to Patreon. Get access to our watch alongs, read alongs, and our trailer reacts. Our most recent trailer reacts was the One Piece live action trailer. Thank y'all so much for watching that. Our Patreon supporters. Yeah, you can support us at any tier to get access to that. But to become a Patreon producer, like the GOATs, you got to support us at the Weeb tier. Shout out to the Patreon producers: Dre the GOAT, G, Ted the Pro from Chaotic Culture and Shogo High, Explicitly, Monique Williams, Nachi, and Saphir. Thank you so much for producing this and many other episodes of the podcast. We truly appreciate this. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much for supporting us. Mic Check Waifu is the anime podcast. It's brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. CDT, where we talk seasonal anime, anime topics, anime news, etc. This week is a special week because this is the transition from spring ending to summer beginning. So what we have is the spring is just about done. Where there's one more show I think left.
Yeah, I think it's
Insomniacs After School. But by the time you're hearing this, that's actually done too. Because we record on Sunday, the episode releases on Tuesday, and Insomniacs After School comes out on Monday. So, it's only one episode of that show left, but everything else for the spring is actually completed. And then we start summer. There was a few episodes of summer. It was only a few that we're going to discuss, but before we get into that, Tell, how you feeling?
Man, I feel blessed. I ain't even gonna lie to you. And the blessing being my wife and my kids. And I just it's been a really good week. But as some of y'all know, Polo knows that I work a part-time job, and I'm only going from the house like 1 or 2 days a week. Mm-hmm. But it feels like every time I leave the house, as soon as I walk back in the door, these kids are so excited to see me, bro, and it melts my heart, man. It's something special about that. So I love it. Even the dog act absolutely ape shit and just jump on me, want to kiss me and hug me and stuff like that. So I'm just. It was a real good day. I came home and they just loved on me, so it was fire. But I'm good, bro. I'm good in general. I'm trying to get more personal training clients, so hit me up on Instagram or DM me and we can get some of y'all in here. If you hit me with if you hit me with that Mic Check Waifu, I might give you a discount. But I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm well myself. As y'all know, I've been participating in the training. Keep moving from there. I'm probably gonna cut this part out. If I don't cut this part out, you know what I said. If I did cut this part out, you'll know what I said. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a lot better. Mentally, emotionally, I'm feeling good.
Can I say something, bro?
Yeah.
And I mean this in the most respectful way possible. And I don't never really say this to Polo, but he got to hear this. Talk your shit, bro.
I don't like
and
to.
Look,
and you know
I know you don't. But hear me out. It's okay to say you making progress, bro. It's humble still. You making progress. You ain't out here saying like I'm better than nobody. I'm going through it just like everybody else. And I love that. I'm very happy for you. And you deserve to have everybody who listens to this podcast hear you and say, Polo, you doing good, bro.
Yeah, I am. I feel like I accomplished a lot in actually a relatively short amount of time.
For sure.
So I'm gonna keep it going though. I'm gonna keep it going. Next up, it might be hard. Nah, it might be actually relatively easy. What was your episode of the week this week?
I mean, I'm gonna give it to my favorite anime of the spring season so far. It's
spoiler.
Of the spring season, the only one that's left on the chopping block. And Insomniacs After School has been crazy, man. I really I appreciate this anime for everything it is, bro.
True, it is a very strong anime.
Now, hear me out. There was some stuff that came out that's new that I think definitely deserves some praise and some love.
Really?
But Insomniac, Jobless Reincarnation. But man, Insomniacs After School is it's special for me, bro. It's super special for my heart.
True that. I don't have. It wasn't really much for me, but I'm gonna give it to Hell's Paradise. I think that was a fantastic finale for the season, for the first season. It completely blew my mind at what happened at the end there with our guy. We're gonna talk about that in spoiler talk, obviously. Spoiler talk. We're not gonna go into anything new because all the new stuff we're gonna spoil in the first half of the show, obviously, because it's only episode 1. To see if you guys are interested in watching it or picking it up as well. But we're gonna spoil Hell's Paradise, and we're probably gonna spoil Insomniacs After School. And I think that'll probably be it because, again, Jobless Reincarnation, we're going to spoil now. That's going to be added into spoiler half in next week's show. But right now, we're going to talk full spoilers for all the shows we watched episodes 1 of, because that's how we normally do this. So just Insomniacs After School and Hell's Paradise are going to be the ones we spoil.
But before we do that, though, let's just close the book on this real quick. Gundam Witch from Mercury had its season finale.
Yeah. So we're getting right to it then.
Yeah. Actually, a phenomenal finale, in my opinion. I think this finale was significantly more impactful than what we had for the first core of this. And it actually got me significantly more hype. But it was still kind of all over the place, if that makes sense. But it was a phenomenal ending for especially for a Gundam series. Like this was spectacular. Not sure if it's better than Iron Blood Orphans.
Interesting.
But it was phenomenal. But yeah, really good finale for that.
Okay, so I got a confession to make. I still didn't finish Magnus Bra yet. That's in my list that I have to wrap up by next week, so I will get that done. But talking of the shows that finished, man, talked about Cafe Terrace last week. Shit, man, what all finished?
It's not a ton.
Not a ton at all, huh? Let me see here. I'm going through my list here. Oh, Dead Mount Death Play wrapped up the first season, which was already confirmed for season 2, and interesting.
Cheat Skill. What about that?
Oh yeah, that Cheat Skill did finish. You know what? It didn't wrap up with a confirmed season 2, and it seemed like it did the thing that when shows don't get a season 2, what they do is they kind of like speed through some stuff that necessarily, I guess it just sped through some of the stuff that you think we would get. You know what I'm saying? So conversations between some people that shouldn't have that you would want to see in the anime. It's sad because I love that anime. I think I actually think it's really good.
Yeah.
Funny enough, it was actually a really good show, but I know it probably won't get a second season because of, its generic nature.
And I don't hate to disagree with you or agree with you, because I loved it as well, right? It's something I would happily go back for a second season to. But yeah, something about it seems like it's gonna be unfinished.
Yeah, it's giving me unfinished
Chivalry vibes.
Grimgar, yeah, all that shit. It's definitely giving me unfinished vibes of that. But I digress. I mean, and in Hell's Paradise, we already talked about what we're gonna talk about that in the spoilers talk. That's probably one of the most completed, and I mean that in a sense of like just overall packages, right? Overall anime packages. I think Hell's Paradise is one of the most polished, well put together overall packages since JJK, and I'm real happy with the direction it's going. And I even like the shorter season. I like the shorter season and going into a second season much later down the road, because where it ended in a place where, yes, it's a quote unquote cliffhanger, but it's not. It doesn't leave me as I would normally say, with a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to the cliffhanger side of things.
That, and obviously we'll talk about it more, but that cliffhanger was so tasteful. Very. In a sense, you know what I mean? It was so tasteful, so it was fire. It was dope to see that.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Now this might be a short episode, to be honest, because there ain't much come out for the new season, the start of the new season. Well, not much that I've watched. I don't know if you watched more than I did, but I watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows.
I watched 5 shows, and one of them I did not watch the second episode for, because I was not 100% sure if I wanted to or not.
The second episode?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with that one then.
So I think it's a shoujo. I ain't gonna hold you. It's called Yohane the Parhelion Sunshine in the Mirror, and it's definitely a shoujo because it's nothing but women. But nah. It's an idol anime, and they talk about going to another world. I ain't feel that. I didn't even. It didn't even. I had to rewatch this episode twice, and that's why I said I didn't think I was gonna watch the second episode. I watched it, and I like all the kids are asleep, bro. And I'm like, did I even understand anything? And I literally, I'm like, I don't have my phone in my hand and nothing the first time. I'm like, I don't even know if I'm understanding anything. So I literally started it right over from the beginning. Wow. Watched it again, and I was like, I don't really vibe with this. And I feel like it's the main character that they give us. So essentially in this first episode, Yohane is more or less traveling around the town, and establishing, that she's telling us over and over that she's going to be an idol is what it is. And to me, it just felt redundant and repetitive for a beginning episode. It didn't feel like there was nothing. It didn't feel like there was anything there to actually sink its teeth into us. So I saw that the second episode came out, and I was like, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know. I think I'll give it another chance when next week, just because the second and third episode come out. But I'm almost certain this is gonna get dropped. Almost certain.
Wait, so they dropping 2 episodes at a time?
No, I think it came out
early.
Yeah, it came out earlier than everything else.
I see. Well, that's neat. Pretty neat.
I don't know about all that, bro. It might not be neat.
No, it doesn't sound like it's very interesting. And that's kind of where I am with this entire season so far. So I watched My Tiny Senpai.
I meant to watch that one.
It's a cute show, I guess. I don't really find myself intrigued as much as I did with what was the other one? The Ice. My coworker and the Ice guy, whatever the fuck that one was called. That one I loved, or I'm not feeling it as much as Yuzuki-chan wants to hang out. I'm not. It's supposed to have that vibe to it. It's about this tiny senpai. She's they're all adults and they're working class. They work at this office job, and she's literally itty bitty. Like, she's so fucking small. She's about a good 4'11". And it's about our main guy character who's like crushing on her because she's just so cute. She's just so adorable. And it kind of hints in the first episode that she's crushing on him too, but they kind of like just keeping his work relationship the same because they don't know how each other feel. And it's just bouncing back and forth between a bunch of little cute shit that's happening. But I was mad bored with this first episode. And that I don't really, again, I'm gonna give it 3. I'm gonna try to give it 3, but with everything else that's coming out, because looking at the list, let me just put something in perspective for y'all. The list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 shows. Okay, that's 16 shows plus the 5 that I counted up here, which means that I'm looking at about a good 21. There's no fucking way that I'm about to force myself to watch a show that's not going to be interesting to me, right? Like, even though it's adorable, like, it's not bad. It doesn't look bad. Nothing about it seems to be bad. It's just not interesting right now. So, at least so far. So that one, not doing it for me.
And I was even going to say, like, it could be one of those ones that's like just barely good enough to go back in another season and watch. But hear me out. These seasons have actually been solid enough to where it's not enough time to go back and rewatch old stuff.
Right. And that's been a problem because there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to finish that I just couldn't get to. Like even Spy Classroom, while I wasn't having fun with that, I'm on episode 7. The second season come out this month, I think. So, like, I kind of just want to finish it.
To the binge list.
Exactly. I kind of just want to add it just to get to see what the second season hitting for, or get it in time to see what the second season hitting for. But it's kind of tough. Next week is gonna be crazy though. We got Bleach. We'll get to that at the end of this. But yeah, man, what's up with you?
Did you watch Atelier Ryza?
No, I'm not watching that.
Okay, hear me out.
I know. So okay, before you start though, Atelier Ryza is based off a video game. The game is fire. The games are so fire, but they're not really known much for their story in the video game.
So I'll tell you what they're known for based off this first episode.
Thighs.
Stop. Let me tell it. They did the damn thigh shot 5 times. Oh,
did they really? I didn't even know.
I swear to you, man.
That's crazy. Because that's what it is. That's what it's like in the game too.
It's literally every single time they start at the kneecaps.
Yep.
And just go all the way up to the face. And I'm like, bro.
No, not necessary.
How many times I need to see this same scene? She wearing the same clothes. She ain't even wearing a different outfit. And y'all showing us the same exact thing. And it was a 48-minute first episode, bro. It actually didn't seem entirely like boring or like unenticing. It seemed like there could be something there, but this anime felt more like what people think Fire Force is, just with the thigh shots.
Oh yeah.
Because there's no reason for 5 or 6 thigh shots of a teen girl.
Yeah, it's never okay.
Even the run looked like a video game run though, because she did this run that's like. It's like this, bro. She got her arms up to her shoulders, and it's like the way they got her thighs animated is like they basically rubbing together, but somehow a black hole form in between it, and you just don't know that it's sliding. It's not animated right. They literally trying to play off her body type just to get people excited about that.
They did in the game too,
but they use CGI a little bit in this as well. And the distant CGI, you can tell they cut corners on it. Like when they put it far off in the background, you can tell it's trash. The frame rate is not great. I even tried, attempting to let it like buffer or something with my gigabit internet, just trying like, hey, let it buffer and see if I can get a solid frame rate. Nah, bro, it's not good. I'm gonna watch it. I'm probably give it 3 episodes, but yeah, there's something there. I'm just not sure what it is yet, and it ain't the thighs.
Very interesting, because that means we had to watch this one. Both watch this one. It's the Ayaka. Oh yeah, this one's fucking sucks. The This one, the tagline is wounds. The wounds and bonds are healed, or whatever the fuck it is. The tagline is stupid. It's not based. The cool thing about it is, if I'm not sure if Annulus just didn't update it or not, but this isn't based off of a manga, which normally they do a good enough job of making sure that information is here. It's just an anime, and watching it is so fucking generic, bro. It's so generic. It's about a kid who fucking basically has to leave his island, his home island, and goes through some traumatic experiences where he loses his memory, essentially, or suppresses a lot of his memories. And when he graduates high school, he returns to his home island and find out that his home island is full of a lot of supernatural shit, and he's a part of a group of people who has special abilities to do shit. I don't know what that do shit is yet.
No idea.
It didn't tell us what that do shit is yet, which is cool, which I'm fine with learning the same time. We talk about this all the time, with learning information the same time the main character does, because the main character has no fucking idea because of I don't know if it's like I said, it's suppressed memories or whatever the case may be, but I just found it extremely generically boring. And I'm like, yeah. I think it was the first thing I watched, and I thought to myself, I'm like, yeah, this is the first thing I watched, and then My Tiny Senpai was the second thing I watched. My thought was just like, damn, this season is starting off with a doober. Like, I'm fucking bored out of my mind with these two shows already.
Yeah, I felt entirely the same with Ayaka though. Like, what's going on here, man? It almost, and hear me out, this is gonna sound crazy. It almost felt like an anime like Shaman King has more originality.
Yes. It felt like a Shaman King or something like a 4Kids TV anime.
It did, but like they try to paint it with this like almost dark-esque like filter almost is what it seemed, and it just it's not hitting for the type of show that that it is, or at least what it appears to be so far. Maybe it'll get better. I'm
hoping so.
I hope so too. So my sleeper actually did released. It's Am I Actually the Strongest? I'm not sure if he's actually the strongest or not. First episode was, I would have to say, so far outside of Jobless Reincarnation, this is probably the most solid thing I've watched.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Like, it, at the very least, it started off okay. It gave us some decent introduction. It gave us an idea as to what this overpoweredness is going to be. It even gave us some funniness and why our main character has ended up in his circumstances. Essentially, we spoiling this a little bit, right?
Yeah, everything, every episode.
Our main character is reincarnated to this world. He was essentially
recluse,
yeah, and he gets reincarnated to another world, and the goddess bouncing up and down is super excited to get him to this other world and tell him, hey, basically, we're going to give you some cheat skills and powers and stuff like that, and you're going to have a super cozy and lovely life in this world. And she basically forgets that in this world, and in this, because he's the son of a king and one of the strongest female sorceresses in the kingdom or whatever.
Right.
And basically, our main character is revived as an infant, and they're so excited to see him, see his chest symbol, and they say, oh, look at him, and they rate his power, and they only see the number 2. They only see number 2 out of 2 possible digits.
They see 02, yeah.
Yeah, 02. That's all they can see is 02. So out of 2 digits, they can only see 02, which means that essentially he's the weakest of weak. The only thing that's lower than that is 1, obviously, right?
Right.
So they discard him. Like, ain't no way. This can't be our son.
Which is fucked up, by the way, which is it was a comedic spin on something extremely dark and sinister, like kind of sinister, because they're like, while
this can't be ours.
Yeah, this can't be our baby. No, let's say that it died at childbirth. Yeah. And they were like fucking plotting, and they just fucking threw him in the forest. It was fucked up, but it was also kind of funny. I don't know why I laughed. I don't know why.
the turn to it is actually kind of dope though, because he gets picked up by a Margrave. Well, before that, he gets talked to by a demon.
Yeah, the fucking one of the top demons, a Fenrir.
Yeah, Fenrir. And he basically makes a contract with her, and he basically almost passes out from either too much magic used or he's hungry.
He's a fucking hungry. Newborn. Yeah,
he's a newborn baby. This is his first 10 minutes of life. And that's even wild too. First 10 minutes. And this is where we find out what his actual power is, because he can only use barrier magic as far as we know.
Right.
Which turns out to be mad dope, because they always make it overpowered.
Yeah, because he has no elemental powers or nothing. He just have literally barrier magic.
Yeah, he only has barrier magic, but essentially what it does is he can use the barriers for all kind of wild things, like telepathy. He can use the barriers to talk. He can use the barriers to protect themselves and others. He can use the barriers to make clothes. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we should also point out the fact that he has literally everything. Like, he's a baby, but he has every capability from when he was previously a 30-year-old man. So I think that's an important piece to this. Like, he's able to talk and shit via his telepathic fucking barrier shit. It was insane.
The string and cubes on the other side. I was like, this is actually kind of dope.
What's dope though is a little small time skip they did and kind of showing where he is now with the Margrave, which is basically his uncle, essentially, is what they made clear. He basically lives with his uncle as his son, and it's the little first training scene that they had was so dope, because then it got him thinking about, like, okay, is this guy really? Is he already not a demon?
Yeah,
and that shit made me laugh.
And that's right. That's what set the tone, though, right? That's kind of essentially what made it feel like it wasn't going to be bad.
Yeah,
because we can already see some multiple different like storylines where, not even necessarily storylines, but we can see multiple different paths this can go in. Is he a demon? Is he just going to try and does the little sister recognize who or what he actually is? Because they did leave that little cliffhanger at the end. Because he did also come with a demon. There's a lot of stuff here, but also we see that they tried a 3-digit spell crystal or magic crystal to see if they could rate his power, and it still says 2, but it doesn't track, right? It doesn't track, because when he did the fighting montage or scene with his father / uncle, he basically instantly does a skill that he should be at least level 30 for, or should have at least 30 strength for.
Yeah, there's something that Tails going over the small stuff. Let me go over the major piece about this. The major piece about this is that the strongest human in this world is 77. Okay. His ability, his actual power level, while again humans, the max is 77, his is 1,002. Yeah. The reason why you couldn't read his numbers is because they only have digits that only go up to 2, and now in the future 3, and his is actually 1,002. So it's only showing the last 3 digits of his actual power levels. So that means he is what, 8 times stronger than what, 4.
At the bare minimum, he's about 15 times stronger than the strongest person.
Yeah. So with that knowledge, I'm looking forward to see where this goes in the future. Like, what kind of fucking shit he gets into. Like, is he going to be, because he said, I wanted to live the easiest life. We know that he created this robot to fucking duplicate himself, so he maybe doesn't have to go on an adventure. Like, I want to know what kind of life he's going to lead, because it seems like he's different than any other protagonist we got in our isekai realm. Like, he's so different. So, like, I'm curious as to see if he's going to continue his neat life with his magic ability, or maybe it becomes something. I got a feeling it's going to be like a bunch of hijinks that he magically falls into, kind of like the aristocrat one that we watched from last season. That's what I'm thinking.
Hopefully, hear me out. I hope it ends up better than that aristocrat joint.
And that one we liked.
That wasn't bad.
Right.
Yeah, not to say it was bad, because I do think it was actually pretty decent.
True.
But I hope it ends up better.
Right. Just
in the sense, like, give me, what if it, and let's not go too far into speculation, but I need like Eminence and Shadow out of this.
Yeah. You need that poignant power, that I'm a show out power.
And I don't even necessarily need him to show out. I just need him to show out on accident. Even I'm cool
Show
with
out
that.
on accident.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this one, man. I'm looking forward to this one. This one was the highlight of this week for me, because the rest of them I was like, the start, I don't know about this, because I know these are shows that I can drop and have no remorse about.
Mm-hmm.
There is one more though, for me personally, outside of Jobless, which we're saving for last for obvious reasons.
Obvious.
The Horimiya dropped again, and this is not season 2. This is Horimiya: The Missing Pieces. What this is a fucking big disappointment, because I'm ready for the continuation of Horimiya, but I'll settle for this for now because I enjoy these characters that much. This is The Missing Pieces is literally pieces from the manga that we missed. Apparently there was enough for them to have 13 episodes of this. So I'm going to get a 13 episode series of just missing stuff that was in the manga that didn't make it to the show. Which kind of sucks, because again, it's not a continuation of what we got with those wonderful, wonderful characters. But I am looking forward to seeing more of it. I don't know if I'm gonna give it to 3, and it's not going to be because I don't want to watch it because it's bad or anything like that. It's because I just don't care about. Basically, it's a season full of filler.
Yeah.
That I don't necessarily care about. It's funny, but I don't think it's necessary for me to view when I have 21 other shows to watch. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be real. I hope you love it.
Yeah, I mean,
if it's a show you already really enjoy, more context sometimes can just be better.
You absolutely right.
I hope so, though. You know what I mean? Because it almost feels like Clannad didn't have to give us all those connections.
Oh,
I guess they had to, but they didn't have to give us all those connections. But they did, and it felt good. And I hope that this is kind of like that scenario where they give you those connections to just make you say, "Oh, this makes that moment even better."
Sure, yeah. I mean, with 13 episodes, you would have to, right?
Right.
There's a lot of episodes. That's a lot of shit missing if you got 13 episodes. And these aren't like shorts or nothing. These aren't 12 minutes a piece. These are full 24-minute episodes. And a lot of it was like, it's kind of like discombobulated, because it's like, for instance, one of them was when he still had his long hair, because he had long hair to hide his piercings. And the main male character, he's let me get his name proper. Izumi. Yeah, the main male character, Izumi, has piercings and he has tattoos. So his dilemma is that he can't change clothes with like for instance, they went on a school trip and he can't change his clothes in a public bath with the other boys because he has like these tattoos and he don't want anybody else to see them, because, you know, in Japan culture, those tattoos are forbidden. They represent Yakuza and gang culture or whatever. So he's doing everything he can to hide them, even though this guy has nothing to do with that. He was just being a rebel in his younger years, but he was trying to find a way to escape not having to bathe with the boys. So so his best friend, who knows about his tattoo situation, decided to help him out in this tight spot as he was about to change. He's like, Izumi can't change because he's on his period. and he was just like, he just rolled with it, and he was able to get out of that.
That's a whole nother reason why he shouldn't be in the
right. So it was a little silly moment like that, but it's a bunch of like small comedic beat stories, and these stories they're maybe 5 minutes a piece, and there's multiples of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. I don't know if it's worth a full season of watching, right, when I have so much other shit to watch, but we are going to continue it for 3 episodes at least to see if I'm still interested even after everything else comes out.
Okay.
And then lastly, man,
but never leastly,
whatever that means, Jobless Reincarnation is back. This is okay. I'm gonna just start off. I know I've been talking a lot, but this is the episode. This episode 0 was probably one of the best episode 0s I've ever seen in my life. Because most episode 0s are just recaps, right? They're always just recaps, or they're little small bites of story. This was so prominent into the story of Jobless Reincarnation that I absolutely loved seeing Sophie again just in general. Now it's kind of hard to touch on this because not a lot of people watch Jobless Reincarnation, so I guess we can't really go into full spoilers like we want to. But let's just say I love seeing Sylphie again, and it was a great story as far as the situation because it picked up right where the incident is what they call it. The incident happened for her, and we had no idea. We literally had no idea. After the incident happened, we just never saw her again at all, like period. So it picked up right after that incident, and we saw exactly what happened when she came crashing down. And again, I don't want to go into full spoilers on it because not a lot of people seen season 1. So go watch season 1 Jobless Reincarnation if you haven't already. But
yeah, at the beginning of this episode, I was yelling, "That's Sylphie." I was like, "That's got to be right. It's got to be." You were
confused?
Well, so I watched it, but it was like she didn't necessarily say she was Sylphie the whole time until the end.
Oh, did you forget who Sylphie was?
No, I never forgot who Sylphie was, but they didn't say who Sylphie was until the end. They didn't say her name was Sylphie. They kept...
Bruh, you didn't need that.
I know I didn't need it. I'm just saying it could have been anything as far as we concerned. It was an episode 0.
Okay, help me out, Toe, because now I'm confused. The very beginning of this episode was literally showing Sylphie fall from the sky. Oh, yeah. That's spoilers.
That's why I'm trying not to say all that. But yes, I saw all of that and I was like, it's got to be who it is. But I went in, and this is just me going in without trying to be, because Jobless Reincarnation is a show that I thoroughly enjoy. And sometimes when I enjoy something like this, right, this is a personal favorite anime of mine. Not necessarily like top 5 or something, but this is an anime I thoroughly enjoy watching. So when I go into this anime, I don't go in it trying to necessarily just immediately pick up on the pieces. Sometimes I just go in and I just want to enjoy what's happening.
You not knowing who Sylphie was, it blew my fucking mind though.
I knew who Sylphie was. I was saying that Sylphie is what I'm saying. I was like, that's got to be Sylphie, right? Is what I was saying.
Oh, I thought the way you said it sounded like you were questioning it though. That's why I was confused. Yeah. Okay.
I was saying that's got to be Sylphie the whole time. I was like, that's got to be Sylphie. Yeah. And it's like I was just waiting for them to actually confirm it. So I was just excited that was actually what we were seeing. But yeah, like I said, I was going in trying not to predict the next move and what's happening. I'm like, what if it's not Sylphie? Oh, it's got to be Sylphie though. It's the only person it could be.
Yeah, because
it was dope. I loved it.
When she used her, ability to change her hair and everything, like it just, Well,
it was the ears that gave it away.
No, it was her falling from the sky with her green hair that gave it away. It's just who. I think you just forgot who Sylphie was.
I didn't. I never did.
Or what she looked like.
I didn't. I never did. I knew it was Sylphie from the beginning. I just was like, it's Sylphie. Oh, it's like we ain't seen her since season 1 core first core.
Yeah, it's true. That's big true.
So I was like, it's gotta be, and I was excited because I'm like, yo, we finally about to see what she been up to.
Yeah.
And then when they kind of talked about some stuff in this episode, that I was like, oh, so maybe we'll get to actually see Rudy get close to Sylphie. At least we're gonna have to do it, them passing up each other every once in a while now. But I was excited thinking like we finally gonna get to see how this reaction is gonna be.
It's gonna be fire, man. It's gonna be fire. I even love the small micro moves that is happening within the political scene. Mm-hmm. This was fucking fire. And then mostly what everybody knows is that Jobless Reincarnation is one of the most beautiful shows has ever been produced, man. It's so pretty to fucking look at. And it's something about the way they do this filmic look and the way the camera kind of bobs. It's a slight bob to the scene. The scene ain't much happening in the scene, but it's always a slight bob to the camera. And that for me as somebody who's big into like cinematography and stuff, it is so pretty to fucking look at.
It stimulates it. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to look at. Even the graininess of it, I just love everything about the way it fucking looks. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
It's clearly intentional. That's why
100%.
it's so perfect. Imagine watching something that didn't intend on doing that. It'd be different. But this show clearly intends on its artistry.
100%, and it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous show. It's one of the best isekais there ever was, to be honest. Like, it's, for me, it's up there. It's not. I'm not going to say it's like, my favorite, like top 5, like you said. It's up there with ReZero as far as like top isekais.
Yeah.
But
I'm not saying
ReZero is just the number one anime in general, but isekai wise, Jobless Reincarnation is definitely up there.
And when I say top 5, I'm saying like one of my favorites that we've watched as a podcast.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Like, this is one that I feel like when it comes around, there's just so much for us to talk about because you put me on this one. Mm-hmm. It was already a couple episodes in when you talked about it,
right? And
I was like, oh yeah, we got to go. Like, after I watched this, we definitely got to keep talking about it. So I feel like it's a podcast. That's why I love it so much.
It might even become one of my top 10s. Like, it might even fall in there because looking at my top 10 now, there's entirely of a route for it. Yeah, right, easily.
So who getting booted? Who possibly could get booted?
Probably Made in Abyss.
I can see that.
Because I just love Golden Time so much. Golden Time is still in my top 10. But Made in Abyss is something I enjoy, and it's still one of my favorite animes of all time. But what this one does to me emotionally, I guess both of them do something to me emotionally, but as far as aesthetically goes, like aesthetically, aesthetically, it's just one of the most beautiful shows ever to me.
Yeah. And also, it's a very hard first season to follow.
100%.
Even though the second season did good, it was a very hard first season to follow.
The next episode is titled "Broken Hearted Mage," so we're getting right into it in episode 1. I can't fucking wait, man. I cannot wait. We're gonna talk about that more next week. It's getting added to our spoiler talk for this summer season, of course. And then to wrap up this first half of our podcast, before we go into break and go into spoiler talk, let's talk about some of the shows that's still coming. So, in my list of stuff I got still coming, I got Tenparu, which is a ecchi harem that I'm looking forward to. My unique skill makes me OP, even at level 1. We got 1,000 Year Blood War arc that's coming extremely soon. Masamune-kun's Revenge Season 2, which is coming out. Actually, by the time you're hearing this, is already out. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to talk about it this episode because it comes out Monday. Episode drops Tuesday. Zom 100 will be out. My Sleeper, The Dreaming Boy is a Realist. I'm looking forward to watching that. Classroom Before Heroes. I'm looking forward to that. Reborn as a venom machine and I wandered into the dungeon or whatever the fuck that Rob got us watching. Mm-hmm. Liar. I'm also looking forward to that. Reign of the Seven Spellblades. Death and what is this called? Yeah. The Duke of Death and His Maid. Season 2.
I know you're excited for that one,
bro. I'm fucking pumped, bro. Devil is a Part-Timer Season 2. The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. Rent a Girlfriend Season 3 is in 4 days. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Now again, I've read this, so this is going to put into perspective on if I can do this. Because, as we said, what was that, a couple of episodes ago? In a double dip episode, I think it was 207. The double dip episodes where if I can watch a show that I read the manga for and still enjoy it as much. So that's going to be my real test. I got Helk is also on my list that I'm looking forward to watching.
That's an isekai?
I think it is, actually. No, it's not. It's coming on High Dive, but I like the cover for it, so that's why I added it to my list.
I got Sugar Apple Fairy Tale Season 2.
Okay. You love that shoujo?
Yeah, it's fire, bro.
What else you got?
Are you gonna watch the Tony Kawa Over the Moon ONAs?
No. Those are him in high school. I don't really care about that. Anything that has to do with the past, I don't really care about.
Yeah, basically everything you got is the same stuff that's on my list. Yeah, I don't think I chose. Maybe. Nope, I ain't choose that mecha. Yeah, I think basically all the same things except for a couple of shoujos. I think I added on my list. So what's that? My Happy Marriage. I got here. I think we both gonna watch The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right. The Devil's a Part-Timer. Clearly got to watch that.
Yeah, just to see if this is a proper season 2, or they make up for that terrible season 2 that we first got.
It was terrible. I was gonna say it was just slow, but it was bad.
It was real bad. And I love that show. All right, we got.
I won't be watching Baki.
No, nobody's watching Baki. No, some people. Actually, a lot of people are. Funny enough. A lot of shows to look forward to next week. So next week is going to be another big first episode spoiler talk for a lot of these new shows. I'm looking forward to that. And we're going to take this quick break. And when we come back, we're going to spoil Hell's Paradise and the Insomniacs After School. We'll be right back after these.
Polo here, streaming on Mic Check. Mic Check, waifu.
Welcome back. Y'all know I just hit the fucking start streaming button. That's what Tel was just talking about. I just hit the start streaming button instead of start recording. Yikes. Anyway, welcome back to episode 209 of Mic Check waifu. I'm probably going to start seeing people pop up in my chat thinking, is he live? Anyway, thank y'all so much for rocking with us. We appreciate y'all listening to us on a weekly. Be prepared for some upcoming changes. Follow us on Twitter at MikeCheckWaifu, on Instagram at MikeCheckWaifu, and on TikTok at MikeCheckWaifu. So let's get into spoiler talk. Spoiler talk for the final episode 13 of Hell's Paradise, bro. What a fucking beautiful wrap to an amazing season of a show, of a shonen that I did not think was going to be good. I will be the first to admit it. I'm like, I'll watch it, but I don't know about it. And then after episode 1, I'm like, yeah, I'm in. I was fully invested. And from there, I don't think it had a bad episode. Not one.
You know, this is one of the really, really like huge standout anime for this season. Very few stood out like this. The only ones I could think of would be like maybe Oshinoko and Insomniacs After School and A Galaxy Next Door, right? Because we had some really good stuff this season, but man, Hell's Paradise just had like you said, a total package with a bow on top. Yeah, this is great. So let's actually, let's get into the episode. What were your overall thoughts of it?
I absolutely love the fact that it came to a proper conclusion to certain events, like the fight between the Tencent and our blonde guy and Shigiri or whatever her name is, and the Konoichi. I absolutely love that entire exchange. And again, still learning about Tao is huge. I think that's like so special the way they taught this power system, and it's good to also see that it has repercussions, way stronger repercussions than we initially thought. I hope it's obviously you're gonna have to assume that there's a way to repair someone's missing Tao, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can't go too hard with your Tao because of the ability to just lose your life essence. I think that shit has makes this power system so special and so unique and so scary to even deal with, to be honest. And
I even in the moment be speaking that, I almost think about moments that preceded this, right? So you think of when Gabimaru fought that first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that first one had to replenish his Tao via drinking, whatever. The rest of them, as far as we know, they weren't engaged in fights like this. Yeah. They were just lazing about doing whatever, yet they still had to consume the Tao enriched drink in order to replenish their Tao. So it goes to say that most likely, yes, that the reality is that, and this is the beauty of them, how they revealed even this here, is that it clearly has an effect on the body, even if you are immortal, right. But it can be replenished. So it almost comes to that sense of like, yes, the elixir of life is real, but that was a question that was posed here. Is the elixir real? And I feel like, yes, it's real, but it's not what we think it is. Like we kind of talked about before, right? Mm-hmm. It's probably something a lot more sinister than that. Because we even see in this episode that the Tenzin that was essentially defeated here said he waited for this for 1,000 years. Like this is something that, the immortal have seeked, is that, yes, I can live forever, but this got to come to an end.
Yeah. And him being so happy to die though, it was shocking to me, to be honest. It was shocking.
Go ahead.
I thought he was. I thought he would be more upset to be not living anymore. But again, like you said, these people live for thousands of years. They had enough. I just think it's interesting that he was so in a bliss to be gone. After causing so much suffrage.
Right. It makes you think that they had a different duty there. Like their job isn't just to protect like this secret, this grandiose secret away from the world. Their job has to be something larger than that, right?
Right.
So I think that implication is also another really, really driving factor for how good this show is, because they didn't have to even hint at that. They didn't even have to show us anything that could contextually even lead that way. Right. But the fact that we know that there's more to them, and I'm even surprised that this episode really got us to the point to where one of them is officially like And I didn't think that was gonna happen until later, like another season.
And that's what I meant when I said, like, I love the fact that it came to a proper conclusion. Because it could have been like, oh, he slipped away and then got more fucking potion and became him again, you know? I'm glad it didn't do that again after it already happened to Gabimaru. And it puts it so much in perspective on how fucking strong Gabimaru actually is. Because he shot the fair ones with one of them and almost killed it. You know what I'm saying? It almost killed it.
He was doing.
Yeah. Didn't even understand the Tao or anything. And he almost won. And that's fucking crazy. I'm to speak on, before we get to Gabimaru, because that has to come last. Everything that was presented to us with our raccoon dog homie biting the dust was actually cool. It was a good way for him to go out. I thought Yuzuriha kind of earned some points with me, because at first I kind of didn't care much for her at all. Like, I didn't care about her fighting style, how selfish she was, none of that. I didn't give a fuck about her at all. Like, she could have died and I would have been cool. But with this, with her kind of talking about her perspective and kind of why she's like this, it made me feel a lot more easily attached to her as a character, because now I understand.
It gave her empathy. Yes. Even though she's seemed cold-hearted and selfish the entire time, she does pay attention at least, you know what I mean? So that was dope. And to even look at the extension of the Tao and how those things work. Like we said, they keep teaching about Tao in this entirety, right? We found out that the little black girl, her Tao can be used to regenerate others, to re-energize others. I was like, that's fire, but it only works on certain people, right? Because it didn't work on Yuzihara or whatever her name is, but it did work on Suriha and the blind dude.
I mean, I think it did work on Yuzuriha, but I think she just didn't care because she wasn't fighting anyway, you know?
And the only reason I'm saying that is because the way Yuzuriha said that normally it works. And, you know, they showed the distinct difference and even said that there are other positive effects based on how their Tao interacts with others, yin and yang. You know what I mean?
Wait, could it have been her slip juice?
It could have been that, but also like I said, like only those two, Suya and the blind dude, were able to actually kill that one with the Tao because their Tao is negative to theirs. It has to match or something like that. Yeah, and that Shinobi girl's hers doesn't match. So that's that's what the context I got out of it. But I love that they explained that in this episode in a way that was efficient enough to like just say, oh, okay. And then they kept going into the continued battle and actually put it into use. I love it. I love how they do that.
Right. I couldn't agree more. It's a fucking special show. It's incredible. Moving on to the Gabimaru situation. He woke up after fucking exhausting so much of his Tao, which we learn is a part of your life force as well. And seeing what Mai saw his Tao missing from literally his brain, essentially his head, what explains why he can't seem to remember shit that's going on right now. But because he's a fucking smart shinobi, he's like, yo, I know that in this particular situation they're not hostile to me, so I need to play it cool until I figure out what the fuck is actually going on. Because could you imagine waking up for a coma, not having your memory at all, and you just wake up and you see a bunch of people you've never seen before? And it's in an unfamiliar island, in an unfamiliar situation, and you don't know.
All you know is you got hands.
Yep, and you're the best, which was something we did not know. He's the best shinobi of his village. So it's like, fuck, dude, like, and it hurts so bad seeing his wife disappear, because that's the reason why we're here. Like,
but yeah, that's the reason why we're here. But it's also really cool to see how the female, the shinobi, the Yuzuriha, she talked about how that could have just been a trick that was used the entire time, and they led us through that the entirety of the show. That's the best part. That was the entirety of the show. Yeah. They filled us with this falseness in a sense, and then to feed that to our female protagonist, Surya or whatever her name is. the way they gave that to her as well, it just made it like twice as impactful, because what old girl is saying is the truth. It's the truth. And we're realizing it on that double-edged sword, and that's just kind of how they've been introducing these things to us the entire time, like even with the explanation of the how.
Yeah, I mean, like we know that's the way that Shinobi and Konoichi was raised, and they could have been manipulated. But we know that his wife is real. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But again, like you said, the way they weaved that in with him missing his towel and like his memory of her disappearing and all this other shit, that was extremely well done. Like extremely well done. That it felt like what she was saying was actually true, even though again, right. I know that it's not. Like I know for a fact that it's not. So like it was a wonderful thing to see, man. It was good. This episode, this season was spectacular. It ended properly, and it ended on something like the Shogunite. It looks like he's sending more Ayamon to the island, which I don't fucking understand why you would do that, but I digress. More hopefully heavy hitters, because you gonna need them.
They gonna need a lot of them.
Yeah,
send more than 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, even though our crew kind of got it now, they kind of got it, and they just need to reevaluate the situation, explain it all to Gabimaru. A lot of people got blown the fuck back. The brothers are still there, walking around, fucking living their best life right now with the person they killed.
Right. The reason I don't think they got it though is because there's 6 more,
5 more.
5 more. As soon as they realize that they know how to kill them, you're not gonna let it slide, bro. It's never gonna be a fair fight again.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Actually, I do think. Yep.
Even the only way they're gonna get a fair fight is if someone come out with too much pride and like, yeah, I can do all of it. Because there has to be a stronger one, the strongest one.
Yep.
And they all just not gonna let it slide no more. It can't be that easy. I'm horrified for what's about to happen.
Well, they all came from that one dude. So the one main dude that was like talking to everybody and shit like that. Only I can hit you guys, or whatever the fuck he said. So I got a feeling he's the fucking big bad, the main boss. He's gonna be fire to see. All right, moving on to last but certainly not least, Insomniacs After School, episode 12. For Insomniacs After School. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't remember a whole lot, but I know a whole lot happened.
It was one of those episodes that was like
a kickbacky almost.
Yes, exactly that. This was it gave us a lot of progress, but it also gave us just some chill. You know what I mean? This felt like the most slice of life of the episodes for this anime.
Absolutely.
Because we had the trip with the friends.
Yeah, the friends came through. Yeah, I'm starting to remember now. The friends came through and helped them out with food because they were out of food. Right. After they rained in.
Right. Then it rained some more, right? And it's not going to finish raining for 3 more days or whatever. Sister posted on Instagram exposing too much information, as always.
Got her ass busted.
How they do. And now her parents are constantly contacting her like, hey, we're going to come get you, or you can't be there with a boy by yourself.
Right.
And during all of this, though, their relationship is actually furthering, right? It almost seems like a more solidified and tangible thing that they're getting to.
Yeah.
But the way they did it is just so like almost like smooth, right? They're talking about the future, what they see in the future, and talking about how she's seen relationships in her life and whatnot. And they kind of correlate that to each other. I love that.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know what the future holds for me. And he just has that urge to run and grab her hand. I was like, yo.
Yeah, because she's still concerned about her health condition with her heart and everything like that. So yeah, man, I think the most important piece of this episode, and again, not to just rush to the end, but the fact that he's like, yo, we about to go do this. We about to go get out of here before your parents get here so we can still enjoy the time that we have at this camp together alone if we have to, no matter the consequences of what bullshit we're going to have to endure by the time this is over. Yeah. I'm hoping that this get more. It still says that the manga is releasing, so there's entirely possible that there's more to this than what we got. I'm loving it.
I'll be there waiting.
I'm loving it though. What's your gut check for this one? For this last episode that's already out and everybody else has already seen. But okay,
dang, it's crazy. Let me try and get it right. They gonna do exactly what they said. They gonna go out, get those photos. I feel like it's gonna rain still, right? Like it's gonna rain on them, and they're gonna find a way to, regardless of like, because the rain has been a contributing factor to why they keep having to move things around in these last 4 or 5 episodes.
Right.
I think they're gonna find a way to enjoy what they're doing regardless of the rain, and the rain is just gonna be an accessory to them at this point. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
I'm gonna go with them going through this running away thing situation. And right when the parents find him, he gets the perfect picture of her and the stars. And that'd be the one that they use to enter the competition and hopefully win it for the astrology club. And with that, I'm at Polo Barfly on all social media.
I'm at King Talion on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mike Check Waifu on Instagram and TikTok. And as always, Mike check.
You're now tuned into Mike Check Waifu.